Good morning, dear children. As you can see on your screen, our topic for today is from your English supplementary book, Chapter 4, The Old Clock Shop. Now, here, before starting with the chapter, let me give you a short introduction to the chapter. This lesson expresses how honest and correct ways can win over any situation. With these ways, even robbers can be tackled very rightly. The way Mr. Ray not only protected himself but showed the right path to the robbers as well. It conveys the message of peace and good not only for us but for all. So now let's start with the chapter. It was Christmas evening and it was the time to close shops at Salt Lake City in USA. But lights in Ray's shop were on because he was repairing a clock that he had sold. Ray, the owner of the shop, was old and deaf. After finishing his work, when Ray got up, a cold wave of air touched his neck from the front door. He turned to see the shopper who came to his shop at the last minute, but as a wise and experienced person, he noticed that they were not shoppers. He saw two men, one was young and the other was middle aged. The younger man stopped at the door, and the middle aged came to the counter. His eyes were reflecting the cruelty of his heart, but somehow Ray he wisely hid his fear and slowly pushed a notepad and a pencil towards them. Now, the information on the notepad brought a change on man's face. He smiled and then, with his gesture pointing to his ears and shaking his head from one side to another, told the other men that the shopkeeper was deaf. This gave Ray some time to look and examine the man closely. He observed the shape of the gun and his hand movement. Now, uh, Ray actually was feeling angry inside, but his wisdom asked him to cool down and be still. He asked the man writing on notepad if he could help him. With this, the man looked straight at Ray and smiled. It was a cruel smile, as if making fun of something. They understood the reason for their being in the shop and of the one man standing outside at the door. Ray was looking at them as unlucky people who were trying something for which they could repent later. Ray knew at heart that these visitors were in need of money. Ray quietly asked, writing a message if they had come to take a clock or watch. Understanding their need, Ray also pointed to the loan board filled with hanging clocks and pocket watches to tell them that he can give money to them in return, or in means he can give watches to tell them that he gave money as loan in exchange for people's old watches and clocks. He was not a man who gave money to people to take some security in return or earn interest. Rather, Ray did all that to help needy people. It was because of his helping and kind nature. This made the older man feel easy. He looked at his watch on his wrist and asked Ray what price he could offer him. Ray felt that the man was a little ashamed. The watch was not of great worth, but it was special because with this Ray could turn around a bad situation and come out of it safely. Understanding that man's need and helplessness because of which he was into such a bad act, Ray asked him what was his need. The man replied to Ray, writing on the pad that he should pay whatever was the worth of the watch. Ray went to his cash box and took out a $50 note. He handed it to the man and it made the man very happy. The man expressed his gratitude. Both of them knew that the watch was not of the high price. Before leaving, the man said that he would come back to take his watch as soon as possible and wished Merry Christmas. Now, the small story ended on the half hour with the clocks. They all strike the particular time together, witnessing the whole incident. Their musical striking bells produced a music which spread a message of hope and peace. The music was so sweet and impactful that it seemed as if even deaf ears of Ray were also able to feel it. The sweet and hope filled message of goodwill towards others and peace on earth was felt by everyone. The message of peace and goodwill spreads everywhere as the old clock chimes Merry Christmas. Yes, the story where you see how being kind and honest helped Ray to turn the situation over. The story concluded peacefully, giving a sweet and very simple message saying peace on earth and goodwill towards all. Yes, my dear children, if you have peace in your heart, if you want to bring peace in the entire world, what you have to do is be honest, be kind, and be not just be kind, but have a goodwill towards each and everyone. Whoever the person is, whoever the animal is, whatever is their behavior, even if they are cruel, try to show them some kindness, try to show them some goodwill, and see how you can turn a situation around, like how here Ray he stopped a robber from robbing himself by showing him his kindness and helping him to solve his need. Just because of the need of his needs, this man wanted to do some crime for which he definitely was going to repent later on. Ray very well understood the situation and acted accordingly so that no harm could be made either to that robber or to Mr. Ray himself. So in this way, he turned the situation around just by being a simple and a kind-hearted person. So dear children, the story tells you about how you can turn the situation around, whatever the situation may be, whoever the person may be, even if they are cruel and are not kind at all towards you, but in their need, if you help them and if you show them that you're kind and you can do good to others, really you can change a human's behavior, his nature, and also their heart. So I hope that you understood what this chapter is trying to explain to you. Go through the chapter, read the chapter again, so that if you have any doubt, you can write it down so that when we meet for Q&A session, I can solve each and every question for you, and we can uh, end this chapter over here. So have a good day and take care of yourself.